Hello everybody and welcome back to the AOR F1 2016 Season 12 Championship. It's the Spanish Grand Prix for round 5. I'm xMattyG, Matthew Gallagher, and joining me once again in the commentary box for what will obviously be a 5th fascinating race in a row, it's Justin.
Thanks for having me, Matt. Yeah, it was great last time. Fantastic. We've had 4 great races so far this season, and Catalunya is a circuit that everyone knows, so I'm sure we'll have even more exciting racing today.
So we're getting deeper into this season, and the Flying Finn is the man that is really just showing that he is probably the best man for the title at the moment. 17 points ahead of Ciaru, with the likes of Martin and Limitless a little bit further behind. Let's have a look. Season 11 winner is HER Cupid, and looking back to Season 10, TRL Limitless actually won this race. So maybe this will mark the charge of Limitless's comeback through the field and up those championship standings. It's the circuit to Barcelona, Catalunya today. 16 turns, 4.66 kilometres, and 33 laps await the drivers. And what are we waiting for? It's the qualifying comparison.
Here we are then for the qualifying comparison for round 5 of AOR Season 12 Xbox at Spain. On board with the championship leader, the Flying Finn 08 on the left hand side, and Cyril Hamilton in the Mercedes on the right, who has yet to score a point so far this season. Going nicely through the first couple of corners, they're hitting both apexes and trying to take a wide entry into the long turn 3 in order to line themselves up for a good exit without understeering off the track. Then, as you can see on the freeze frame, it's very close between these two guys after the first sector of the lap. Tricky traction zone now, going up the hill through turn 4. You have to be careful to not lose the back end through there, and then turning in for a relatively late apex through turn 5. Up through the gears again through the little kink of turn 6, heading into the braking zone for turn 7. A very fast chicane where it's very easy to be a bit too greedy and cut a corner, but these two guys keeping it clean and doing it very nicely indeed. Then flat, well, not quite flat, but with just a little lift through turn 9, and then DRS zone for the back straight down towards the hairpin. Heavy on the brakes just before the 100-meter board, and as we pause it again on the apex, you can see these two drivers still incredibly close so far in the lap. Over the turn 11 apex, it's very easy to lose the back again, as it's quite bumpy, and then you have to be patient with the grip as the car turns around for turn 12 into the final section of the lap now, 13, where you have to be very precise, and then of course the quite annoying final chicane where the exit is absolutely vital, as that will lead you now through the front corner and onto the main straight to come across the line. And the Flying Finn takes pole position here with the 1:19.8, but Cyril Hamilton also with a very good lap, 2 tenths behind.
So as we've just seen, it is the Flying Finn on pole position once again in the Williams, as one of only 2 drivers to dip into the 1:19s. The other driver being TRL Martin, who will start on the front row, just under a 1:20 for his time in qualifying. Then comes his teammate CRL Hamilton, also in the Mercedes, a very good qualifying for that team, and also for the Red Bulls in 4th and 5th StreeZ ahead of Cupid. Then comes Ycoms in the Force India SARU for Renault, Andre BCF 1997 in the Toro Rosso, Franglish for McLaren, and AOR Reversal rounding out the top 10 in the Sauber. After that comes the second Toro Rosso of Leo Bott. Then comes STS F1 Alonso for the Williams team in 12th. Lucky Dog 2000 now in the Haas, getting the better of his teammate TRL Limitless after some issues during qualifying for him, with RS Falcon in the McLaren splitting the 2 Haas cars. SB Snowyy down in 16th position. Then comes Jason 97 F1 in the Ferrari. Stu way down in 18th position, well off of his teammate. Then comes Burnout F1 in 19th position, and then comes CRL Rosberg with a Qualy ban, Mark Marshmallow with a DNS, and 6 Skills as well with a DNS. So that's how the grid is looking for today's race. Let's go ahead and start the Spanish Grand Prix.
Here we are then for round 5, the Spanish Grand Prix. It's a dry race. There's not going to be anything interesting going on in terms of dynamic weather, by the looks of things anyway. The sun is in the sky and we're ready for round 5 of this AOR F1 2016 Championship. As you can see, it's xMattyG and Justin FakeGhostPirate alongside me today. 0% chance of rain. As I said, I could tell by how lovely the weather was looking. And we're on the formation lap now, Justin, with the Flying Finn back on pole position and back where he belongs.
Yep, this is where he likes to be. I'm sure he's going to do his best to try and control the race. It is a long run into turn 1, but as you said, it is going to be dry weather for today's race. But 0% chance of rain, but 100% chance of excitement, I would say, because it was dry in Russia, and that was also a fantastic race. So I'm looking forward to this one. And yeah, they're doing the formation lap now, and yeah, I'm pretty nervous for these guys. I mean, you can see Limitless is way out of position. He's gone off the circuit even, so it appears Limitless is having some issues early on here.
Yeah, I think he's already been teleported to the grid, apparently. Well, it was for someone's point of view. It's not for Jason, though. But yeah, but for RS Vulcan, there is someone on the grid, as you can see. And, oh, Limitless has quit the session. So Limitless has disconnected from the Spanish Grand Prix. He can rejoin. However, that is going to be very, very bad for him if he cannot get back before everyone is round for this formation lap. I'm not really sure how the reconnection system works, if he can get back in straight away or if he has to wait for the race to start. But either way, Justin, his start has already been compromised.
Yeah, and I gotta say, if I were one of JD's competitors, I would be saying, quick, formation lap, do the formation lap. Let's get up there before JD gets back, because, yeah, I mean, certainly you can never count him out. He's got the skills, he's got the experience. He may not have had the luck this season, but you can never count him out. So coming to the end of the formation lap now, and it looks like we are going to be without Limitless on this one.
Yeah, there he is, 15th. He's 15th on the grid, which is something to maybe to point out, is the fact that he qualified on the medium compound tyres, which is quite a questionable decision, considering he couldn't even manage to get in the top 10 with that pace. So we've seen already Limitless's strategic calls being a little bit out of the ordinary for this season. Maybe just struggling with the F1 2016 differences, maybe, I'm not sure. But the cars are lining up now on the grid. The tension is building for every single one of these 20, well, maybe 19 with Limitless not there, drivers. And we're waiting for the lights as we now cut to the light sequence. Charlie Whiting has started the sequence for round 5. It's lights out and away we go for the AOR F1 2016 League. A very good start for Ciario, a very poor one for Cyril Hamilton in that Mercedes. The Flying Finn still managing to stay in first position, with Martin taking the racing line into turn 1. That's very late on the brakes from Ycoms into the back of StreeZ, and Andre goes right round the outside but then gets overtaken by Franglish, who's up to 6th, and that's a big collision with AOR Reversal in the Sauber. I'm not sure who collected him, but Leobot is down to last position, now takes gives last position to AOR Reversal there, but action galore up and down the field as Lucky Dog 2000 now right behind Falcon and SB Snowyy, as we now ride on board with Ciario in the Renault Cupid in 4th position, up from 5th on the grid. But the Flying Finn maintaining that lead as we go into the middle sector of lap 1, and that's another bit of contact there for Cyril Hamilton. Had a very poor start, and Justin, I know most of your commentary so far has just been, take over.
Yeah, that has been absolute, and Falcon now getting involved as well. Lucky Dog 2000 now as well. He's now down into last place, so at least AOR Reversal picking up a position there, and it looks like one of the Toro Rosso cars possibly accepting blame for one of those incidents and waiting around. Yeah, that is Andre BCF 1997 waiting around for what appears to be AOR Reversal, unless he's waiting for Lucky Dog now, in which case he is going to be waiting quite a while. Ciario, though, with a fantastic start at the beginning of this race, gaining 2 positions into the first corner. He's now coming under attack from Franglish as they start lap number 2. Leobot and Ycoms currently side by side with Reversal just behind Leobot. Oh gosh, and Leobot's actually going to dive into the pits, as is Ycoms as well. So it's not been a great start for those guys. Leobot, it seems, just got his groove back as well in the previous race. It looks like Ciario has now lost a position. He's now down into 6th position. And the Flying Finn is, there's something weird going on. It's saying Rosberg, CRL Rosberg, is in the lead of this race. We know for a fact that is
he's got really out of shape though. Justin has Flying Finn on that apex. I'm not sure what happened there, but StreeZ has now taken the lead of this race. The Flying Finn I'm not sure why he went down to 2nd gear. He just really went slowly around that right-hander, and StreeZ just went, thank you very much indeed. Takes the lead, and Cube has been hit from Martin there from behind, and that is him losing handfuls of positions, down to 9th now. Maybe make that 10th, but no, Jason's been caught, and Stu goes right into the back of Jason. There is carnage absolutely everywhere at the moment. The drivers cannot seem to stay out of someone else's rear diffuser at the moment, and Stu is now down to 16th place, and Lucky Dog 2000 now goes up the inside as well on those medium compound tyres. But Ciario now promoted to 3rd position after that incident, and he must be counting his lucky stars, as he can see StreeZ. StreeZ has not been leading a race at all this season, I don't think, and he is now at the top of the field with the Flying Finn, the championship leader, right behind him. How is StreeZ going to react to taking the lead of this race? Will he get nervous, Justin, or will he be okay?
And also, will his teammate be able to get back involved? Because the two of them were a very powerful force up at the front there in 4th and 5th position at the start of this race, and they were doing a fantastic job. As Andre BCF 1997 now sizing up AOR Reversal. He's going to have the inside line into turn number 1. It should be a relatively straightforward move for him. Rosberg and Falcon, meanwhile, battling as well into turn number 1. A bit of warping going on for Rosberg there, but no major issues for the two of them. Andre BCF 1997 now turning his focus towards Burnout F1 in that Renault up ahead. A great run through turn number 3 in the inside line for turn number 4. And keep in mind, Andre is also on the soft compound tires. It looked like Burnout was actually on the super soft tires. AOR Reversal also going for the soft compound tires as well. So we're seeing a lot of differences there. Sorry, that was hard, not super soft, my mistake. But yeah, StreeZ is still holding on to that lead, but like you said, he really hasn't led the race so far this season. He hasn't been leading, and he has the flying fin all over the back of him. So it's going to be difficult, I think, into turn 1. Of course, DRS is activated now, so that is going to make StreeZ's job that much harder.
Yeah, very good point, Justin. DRS is now enabled, and I think StreeZ may be coming under pressure going into turn 1. Ciario very close as well as he comes through that last chicane. Surprised didn't get a warning for the cut on that chicane there.
Very close.
Either way, Ciario carries on with no warning from the steward. Ciario takes the fastest lap of the race as well, but Alonso then displaces him very minorly quicker, so there's a very different, minimal bit amount of difference between these guys in terms of pace. Falcon runs wide into the gravel, and that's going to allow Andre to go straight past with the use of DRS. Falcon has DRS as well, but obviously with that compromised exit, has to lose the position to Andre. StreeZ looking like he is very much under pressure. He managed to stay ahead into turn 1 though, so StreeZ getting a good exit round that final corner, but the flying fin, oh gosh, there's a little bit of lag with StreeZ there. I don't think he did go into the gravel as Ciario looks up the inside of the Williams, but nothing doing. But StreeZ with that little bit of lag could be causing some sort of issues for the drivers behind, as we now get a replay of the flying fin. How was his start? I'm assuming it's going to be pretty good because he was in the lead after turn 1. He goes to immediately defensive. Martin then decides to go to the racing line, as most drivers would like to go into there. Obviously, flying fin compromising his exit out of that because, well, he wanted to make sure that he stays in front after turn 1. Look at that, Hamilton, a very poor start. Gets absolutely mugged by everyone. Maybe it's just a lack of concentration, Justin.
Yeah, it looks like almost like the Toro Rosso is trying to push him along. Like, come on, go faster, go faster. I got nowhere to go. And HER Cupid, similarly, with nowhere to go, really had to take to the grass, really, to avoid CRL Hamilton there. So a very interesting start for him. Here's what happened between Ycoms and StreeZ. Yeah, he just breaks a little bit too late, does the Force India of Ycoms, ends up in the back of that Red Bull, loses a bit of his front wing. Nothing too major. You can see it's yellow colored on the UI, and then we can see it from Leobot's perspective there. And we know that he got involved, tagged in this. Oh gosh, poor Leobot. Really nothing for him to do there. He just gets spun around, drops him down to last place, but then Reversal takes that over. Here's what happened from Reversal's point of view. We can see, he just narrowly misses the Williams, but then Leobot is right there. There's nowhere for him to go. As you said earlier, Maddie, a bit of a messy start. I think, we're kind of into the heart of the season now, and this is a circuit that the drivers just know so well. Here's Cupid getting spun around at turn 7, and I think these guys are really out for blood now. The honeymoon period is over, and they're going for it now.
Yeah, so an uncharacteristic mistake from Martin there, as we've just seen a replay of that. And there's Cupid rejoining the track using the cockpit cam for some reason. There's Stu being caught up in the incident as well, but Cupid deciding for some reason to go into the cockpit cam despite being very, very quick at the start of the season on the T cam. But he wanted to, for some reason, give himself more of a challenge, because it is definitely more of a challenge to be quick in cockpit cam than it is in T cam, as Jason in that T cam we were just speaking about, trying to go up the inside there but nothing doing. Ciario still right behind, and there you go, incident involving Martin and Cupid under investigation for causing a collision. Martin obviously carrying on in front of Cupid, I believe, so that is why it's under investigation. If he'd waited, then obviously he would have been absolutely fine, but I think Martin will get a slam dunk penalty for that, in my opinion, because he did hit him off and he carried on. So with the rules of AOR, if you let the guy back through and it isn't too much of a serious collision, then that's pretty much it, and they kind of sort of brush it under the carpet. But StreeZ still coming towards the end of lap 5 now, leading the round 5 AOR F1 2016 race around Spain, which is very, very impressive. I'm sure that is playing in the back of his mind, as he's never won in this league, and you can see he's probably struggling for pace just a little bit. Flying fin just taking it easy as StreeZ dives into the pits now for an undercut on the cars behind who carry on, but that could affect him later on in the race.
Yeah, 28 laps still remaining for him, so it's safe to say he's probably going to be going on to the hards, but Sayaryu now is now attacking for what is now the lead of this race. Snowyy and Jason97 F1 still battling as well. Jason tried to go around the outside at turn 10 on the previous lap, but with the assistance of DRS on the rundown towards turn number 1, he's able to easily make that move before even getting into the braking zone, and here comes Sayaryu, who seems very quick, I have to say. He really seems like he has the advantage here today. Sayaryu has just been all over the back of these guys, really not allowing anybody to get away, and Reversal is going to get a wing change in the pits, a very early stop for him as well. So he is going to drop right down the order. Well, he's still in 16th position, but it looks like he might, he's going to lose these 2 positions to Ycoms and Burnout F1 as Ycoms relegates Burnout down into 17th position. Well, it was 18th, now 17th position, but Sayaryu still hanging on to the back of Flying Finn. The gap does look a little bit bigger than it did last lap, I have to say, but with that DRS assistance on the rundown towards turn 10, he closes it in before the final sector here. So let's see if Sayaryu can do anything at the end of this lap.
Yeah, very confident on the brakes is Sayaryu, very much more confident than the Flying Finn by the looks of things. Closed up right into this hairpin as Falcon is coming under pressure from StreeZ, who's just pitted. It's very key for StreeZ to get through these back markers. Well, they're not back markers, but essentially they are for him because they're not racing StreeZ, who's up at the front at the moment. So I'm not sure how much time StreeZ lost, but he managed to get through pretty unscathed on RS Falcons, so this will be very interesting to see. As StreeZ has gone onto the medium compound tyres, so he hasn't gone onto the hardest compound available. So maybe, I'm not really sure how far the mediums will go. Sayaryu's gone onto the hards, so differing strategies here between those two guys. StreeZ goes over and passes Sayaryu, and definitely much more of a gap than there was before, so StreeZ is using that undercut effectively, with Sayaryu coming out the pits now on cold tyres, so he won't be too quick through the first few corners. And here's a replay of Falcon, Andre and Rosberg. Rosberg gets overtaken, tries the undercut, and looks up the inside. Andre taking a very tight line in there just to make sure that there's no contact. Falcon then taps the rear diffuser of Rosberg, but fortunately no cars facing the wrong way like we saw at the start of this race. And it's going to be an interesting one with the strategies and the different things. The Flying Finn still carrying on towards the end of lap 7 now. I'm assuming he must have come in the pits. Yeah, I'm going to say that he must be coming in the pits at the end of lap 7 on the soft tyres, as everyone seems to be diving in. Oh gosh, Rosberg! Oh no, what's gone on there? Rosberg looked like he went in the pits. Maybe that was lag, and that completely caught, was that Stu completely by surprise. As well, I mean, that Rosberg does that. Sorry, that was StreeZ. Sorry, Justin. That was StreeZ, the man who it's retired from the session.
Oh no!
So StreeZ was winning the race essentially, and then got caught out by Rosberg's lagging car. And well, if I was StreeZ, I'd be having a few words, because Rosberg is known for having quite a terrible connection. I think he lives in Ireland.
So Rosberg was in fact in the pits, so he's unaffected by that incident?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened with Rosberg there. We haven't had an onboard with him yet. But did he go in the pits, or did he carry on round the final corner? But we're going to get a replay here
as well.
So there you go. Look, he pulls to the... was that Rosberg just... I don't know if that was lag. Maybe Rosberg just decided he didn't want to come in the pits for some reason. And if so, that is a horrible incident to have, and I'd be taking him straight down to the stewards.
Yeah, that's very confusing and surprising. Certainly, yeah, we don't want to jump to any conclusions. As you said, he was clearly having some sort of connection issue, so we don't want to assume anything at the moment. But yeah, that is very disappointing for StreeZ, because I mean, he really was on target for getting the win, or at least for being competitive. You know, he could have been putting up a fight for the win potentially. The Flying Finn coming out of the pits now. Is he going to stay ahead of Sayaryu? Sayaryu coming down the start-finish straight at over 200 miles an hour. He's going to be alongside him into turn 1. He's going to have to go around the outside and then get the inside line for turn number 2. There's contact between them. Sayaryu trying to go around the outside now of turn number 3. It looks like he's just about going to do it. The Flying Finn, with those not quite up to temperature medium compound tires into turn number 4, not able to do anything alongside Sayaryu for this particular occasion, but he is on the softer compound tires relative to Sayaryu. I'm not sure if he's going to be going for a 3-stop. I would imagine that 2-stop is probably the one that people want to go for, but looks like Sayaryu, with the better exit out of turn 5, is going to just about hold on to that position for now. But with the tire compound difference, I'm not sure how much longer Seiryu is going to be able to keep the flying fin behind him.
I think it's going to happen right now, Justin. Seiryu goes defensive on the inside. Flying fin round the outside into the hairpin. Surely a bit more confident on the brakes, but no. Seiryu covering that line very well indeed and stays ahead of the flying fin for now. But I think, as you say, Justin, with that extra bit of grip that the flying fin has on those medium compound tyres, he is itching to get through and use the extra grip that he has to his advantage as we come into the chicane now. The last few corners before that DRS zone. Seiryu needs to get a good exit. I don't think he has. He hasn't actually. Flying Fin's got a better exit. The DRS hasn't even been activated yet. He's all over the back of his rear diffuser. Now the Flying Fin uses the DRS. I wouldn't be surprised if Seiryu dives straight back into his slipstream. He doesn't. Okay, well, that's very interesting. But either way, Seiryu giving up that position almost as the Flying Fin takes that position away and looks like he's in the pound seats to potentially win another race as he has that extra bit of grip available on those medium tyres. Cupid and Alonso now battling for 6th position. Lucky Dog just ahead, and Alonso getting very close. Once again, Cupid must be getting very nervous with people getting so close to his rear wing as Martin had that incident with him earlier on in the race. And that is Cyril Hamilton going up the inside of Stu, who had that incident into turn 1. Unfortunately for him, lost a lot of positions and he's now down to 10th position, but he has done okay bringing himself back up the field. But obviously there's been a few retirements, a few more collisions ahead of him, but I think if he just hangs on, he'll be able to get a few points. Seiryu just about managing to hold on to DRS of the Flying Fin into this hairpin again. Very confident on the brakes, does gain a little bit of time on the Flying Fin through there, and Seiryu trying his very best to stay within DRS for the long straight and maybe just hold on to the Williams.
You know, Matt, you were talking about the braking of the Flying Fin into turn 10 in that back DRS zone at kind of at the top of the hill of Catalunya, and I've just noticed that I believe somebody has taken out the meter markers. So I think it might be a case of people not really sure where to brake for turn 10, because I believe the meter markers got taken out there. HDR Cupid does look like he is going to get an easy position, but here comes STSF Alonso with the slipstream and the DRS, but it looks like Cupid's going to be able to just about hold him off. As you mentioned earlier, he's using the cockpit view now, which is interesting. He did go very deep into turn 1 on the previous lap, but he does manage to keep everything under control and keep Alonso behind on this particular occasion. Here's a replay of something that happened between Ycoms and Falcon at the start of lap number 9. Ycoms just using that DRS to get the inside. Oh, but he gets a corner cut warning. Is he going to get another corner cut warning here? Oh, he just about loses the back end. He's off the circuit, and he is going to lose that position to RS Falcon. These guys battling for 14th position, Matty.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see that they're so passionate about fighting for positions that won't even give them any points at the end of the race, but maybe they're thinking in the long run as Martin gets past Stu into 9th there, and SB Snowy in the manor. Oh, there's Rosberg's lag once again. I mean, what even is going on here? I mean, Rosberg, I'm sorry, but I don't want to be seeing this, to be honest. He can't really race in this league with that kind of lag. And there you go, Snowy's race, who, you know, he's just calmly behind him, has now been affected with that front wing. And I don't know what your stance is, Justin, about lag, but when there's stuff like that going on, obviously they're not doing anything wrong, but their internet can't hold up, and therefore other people's races are impacted. Yeah,
when it's affecting other people, then it becomes a major issue. You know, if somebody's got a little bit of lag and you just got to give them an extra, half meter of room when you do the overtake, that's one thing. But when you're actually taking people out, that's something entirely different. Here's Cupid on into turn 1 with the inside line, taking 4th position off of Frenglish at the beginning of lap number 12. But I agree with you completely on that one, Matty. It's not safe for the other drivers. You know, if this was real F1 and somebody was causing that many incidents, they'd get the black and orange flag. They would be told to come in immediately. And speaking of coming in immediately, Jason97 F1 from the lead of this race does finally pit at the end of lap 14. So that's a very, very long first stint for him. That is going to allow the Flying Fin back into the lead of this race that we knew he pretty much had all along. And Seiryu regains that 2nd place position, and with a decent sized gap as well behind. So it looks like the top 3, really the top 8 even, are really kind of spread out pretty evenly. So I don't know how soon we're going to be seeing any sort of battling going on. We do have some battling going on for 10th position, though. RS Falcon with the DRS on TRL Martin, and yeah, just with just easy as you like. I mean, just breezes right by him long before the braking zone into turn 1, nice and easy. RS Falcon up into the points.
Season 10 champion relegated to out of the points in this race. What a shocker he is having. Obviously, Limitless is he hasn't even returned, unfortunately, so he's not racing in this race, which I'm sure is going to be a very hurtful thing for him. Obviously, you know, you practice for a league race and you can't even race because of internet. It's a heartbreaking thing to go through. I myself have experienced it, and I'm sure you have as well, Justin, with some sort of disconnection. So here you go, Ycoms now in 13th place behind AOR Reversal, who had one of the worst starts in the history of mankind, is now up to 12th place. And Lucky Dog is going to get a penalty, is he? He can't know. He was just getting a What? He slowed down. What? He was 45 miles an hour and it was 50 and he got a penalty. Wow. So they changed the pit lane speed limiter, like the speed limit, as he came in. It's like, no, you have to be 36 miles an hour. Sorry, mate. So unfortunately, wow, that is, oh my God, I'd probably leave. I'd actually retire. I'd be like, nah, what even is this game? Martin comes back at Falcon now for 9th place, so he is back up into the points now, with a few people pitting and getting unfair speeding penalties. But yeah, I mean, if you have a look at the championship now, so they've got the Flying Finn out in front, so that will put him up to over 100 points now, so 102 points if he was to win this race.
The championship leader is leading the race. The second place person in the championship is second in the race. So yeah this is just going to extend things.
Yeah, exactly. With obviously there was a bit of a chasm between first, second and third, and then back to fourth with Limitless on 29 points, Martin on 52. Obviously Martin having a very difficult race here, but with the Flying Finn and Ciario, as you say, first and second, that chasm is just going to get bigger as Snowyy gets very close to the back of Stu. And it seems like for some reason these guys like to test how late they can brake when behind a guy, because there's been a lot of collisions of people just hitting the back as Snowyy negotiates that very difficult left-right, where the car, with it being off camber, just loves to get its rear end very happy. So Snowyy getting through there with a little bit of a twitch as he kind of... Oh, come on! Use your brakes, Snowyy, please!
Yep, you were right. They really just... People are doing brake tests in the middle of this race. Wait, where is he right now? Oh no, he's on the wrong side of the wall. He's done a Kimmy. He's done a Kimmy. He's absolutely
Where
lost
are you going,
the plot.
Snowyy?
What are... Oh, Snowyy. Snowyy. This is... Oh, and we're still on board.
He's been disqualified.
He's been disqualified, Matt. He has been disqualified. Oh,
where do you think he's...
no.
Where does he think he's going?
Parked it on the apex. Oh, man. This is just... That is
comical.
I've never seen anything like that in a league race, Matt.
Needed some Benny Hill music there, I think, for him going the wrong way. And he was, you could see how desperately at the end he was like, please be an opening to the please be an opening to the track. And nope,
Lucky Dog's got another.
What?
Okay.
Right, come on, Codemasters, please.
Come on. And somehow he's still... Oh, that's right. Burnout retired. Never mind. I was going to say, somehow he's still ahead of Burnout. So as bad of a race as Lucky Dog is having, I thought Burnout was having an even worse
horrible.
one.
So the Flying Finn coming into the pits.
I'm at a loss for words right now, Matt. I really am.
So am I. Okay, obviously, with Snowyy deciding to become David Attenborough and just to sort of explore the nature of the Spanish GP track, but then obviously you've got very unfair speeding penalties. I mean, come on. How slow does he have to go in to not trigger the 50-mile-an-hour speed limit penalty? Either way, let's move on to more positive things. The Flying Finn coming out of the pits now, just losing a position to Franglish there, coming out in 5th position, so he'll have to negotiate. Franglish comes out on another set of mediums. So the Flying Finn, with that extra part of going to the end of lap 7 on those soft tyres, has managed to do medium rather than having to go onto the hard compound tyres, which obviously are more durable but a little bit slower. So the Flying Finn making this work, Justin, very well indeed, because he is extending that lead, and I'm assuming when we see Ciario pit as well. Although if Ciario goes onto the soft tyres, that'll be interesting to see if he can close that gap back up.
I mean, you actually took the words out of my mouth. Yes, I think Ciario may now be trying to extend that hard tyre stint so that he can go onto another set of the softs. But as you said, with the Flying Finn pitting earlier and for fresher and softer compound tires as well, he's only going to be extending that gap. Now, I say that right as he is caught in the traffic of Franglish in the McLaren ahead. Let's see if he can get by into turn 10. He's got the inside line, but he's not quite alongside, so he is going to have to stay behind for the remainder of Sector 3. Really no overtaking opportunities until they get into the DRS zone here. It would be brave and also probably not very bright if he tried to make an overtake attempt here rather than waiting for the DRS, as Franglish very kindly pulls off into the pits for what I assume is his final stop of the race. Meanwhile, STS F1 Alonso, his teammate, into the pits as well. And Jason97 F1 now moves up into 4th position on these hard compound tires. Does he need to stop again, though, is the question I'm wondering about this Ferrari
I'm going to go
driver.
with yes.
Yeah, I think he might. So yeah, that'll move Martin up a position. But yeah, it's looking good for the Flying Finn at the moment, you have to say. Ooh, we've got a teammate battle at the pit lane exit, but no, it looks like Falcon is going to go ahead and allow Franglish to continue on and hold on to that position. Oh yeah, here comes Cupid and Sayaryu. This should get very tasty down into turn number 10. HDR Cupid with the inside line, which you have to say is the preferred line for this hairpin, and yeah, with that inside line, just makes quick work of Sayaryu.
How slow is Sayaryu going? Because Cupid had that incident. Because, remember, Cupid and Martin crashed.
Yeah.
And Cupid has caught up to the back of Sayaryu. If we have a look at the mini-map, so, who is it? Oh, wow. Well, I think Flying Finn is in 3rd, and that is about probably 10 seconds maybe at best. So, Flying Finn has an absolutely... Oh, slow down! Oh, my good lord! Cupid! Come on, don't put my heart in my mouth like that. Jeez, that was close. But Cupid managing to slow down, actually probably gaining a few tenths on most of the drop. 1.7 second pit stop. Jesus
Guinness Book of World Records. Jeez.
Yeah. Wow. Cupid getting the greatest pit stop ever. He only was in the pit lane for about 5 seconds by the looks of things. He comes out behind Jason in 4th position, and Cupid, you have to say, has got Falcon Jim Cartering it into the flipping pit lane. Lovely Jubbly comes into the pits as well, but you have to say Cupid, a really, really decent recovery drive from him, despite also, as I say, racing in the cockpit cam, which is not easy, especially with the awareness that you get with the drivers around you. You really have to use those rear view mirrors like you're on the road to get that sort of awareness. So to be up in 4th with Jason still to pit, he could well be looking at a very, very solid podium.
Oh yeah. I think, yeah, the next car behind him is TRL Martin. I think he's pretty much got the measure of him. He is going a bit wide there at the exit of turn 7. He's got to watch out for that to avoid any sort of penalties. But yeah, we think Jason97.
Oh God!
You know, it's you know what it is? It's the cockpit view. The cockpit view just makes this so much scarier.
It's like a horror movie.
On board with him. That's why the pit lane entrance was so terrifying. The cockpit view, just the immersion is too much. So we think Jason97 F1, though, is going to stop again, which is going to promote Cupid up into a very easy podium position. Only 9 laps remaining in this race, and we can see from the mini-map that there is a pretty big gap to the next car in 2nd position. So we'll have to see if he's going to be able to do anything. Yeah, that's the Flying Finn in 2nd at the moment. So I'm not sure.
That far behind, to be fair. It's a really good effort.
Does that mean Cupid is now in a net 2nd? I believe it does.
Potentially, it depends. Well, it depends where Sayaryu comes out of the pits when he pits, because he'll come out on the soft tyres. So I think Cupid will be ahead, but Sayaryu will be very quick on those soft tyres.
Yep. I think you're right about that. So we've got a replay here of Falcon and Reversal coming out of that high-speed uphill right-hander, and we got some more contact with the back end. He doesn't lose any bits off of his front wing there. Yeah, and the 100-meter board is gone. Yeah, it pretty much has been for the entire race. Thankfully, though, mercifully, there is a 100-meter board on the left-hand side of the circuit, so I imagine most of the drivers have been utilizing that. But here comes Sayaryu at the end of lap 26. Just 7 laps remaining. Let's play, what would we do? I mean, with just I feel like the softs would easily do 7 laps, maybe even 8 or 9, especially towards the end of the race when you're low on fuel and there's all that rubber down on the circuit.
I think 8 was probably the extent of those soft tyres. If you think about as Sayaryu coming out the pits now, 2.9 second pit stop, so a second slower, or 1.2 seconds slower than what Cupid was in the pits. Must have been that ballsy braking manoeuvre with Cupid. But either way, Ciaryu coming out the pits. Yeah, I think, 8 laps would probably be the extent of how far these soft tyres will go. So Ciaryu taking it very easy and playing it safe. And he is very far behind Cupid, I have to say. With Jason looking like he's trying to get to the end of the race on those hard tyres. So, but I think Ciaryu will catch him easily and overtake him. So Ciaryu should get a podium. Martin very close behind on those hard tyres as well. But Ciaryu definitely taking it easy on those soft tyres. It's involving Martin Cupid. 20-second time penalty given to Martin for the collision and failing to wait. As I mentioned earlier, he did not wait. And Martin, a 20-second penalty.
Look at the mini-map.
Onto him.
What's 20 seconds there? I mean, that's like 8th, 9th, 10th?
Yeah, so Martin, although he didn't wait, he could have... I mean, he lost time anyway for this. Cupid didn't take that much longer to rejoin. Yeah. I think Cupid rejoined in about 8th or 9th. Yeah. And Martin carried on in 6th. So that's a penalty that he really probably wouldn't have wanted. I think he probably maybe have got 10 seconds if he'd have waited, or maybe nothing. Who knows? But
maybe he thought he was hit from behind, possibly, and that he wasn't at fault. I don't know.
Well, I mean, he definitely wasn't, so I'm not sure what he was feeling. But Martin there is definitely going to be relegated a few positions as Ciaryu now cruises up to the back of Jason. Will he go up the inside? I'm surprised he didn't try that one with the much more softer and grippier soft tyres. And he's right behind Jason now. Cupid, I have to say, I'm very impressed, and has to be the driver of the day for me is Cupid, with how quickly he is catching up to Cupid. How quickly he's flying up to the flying fin. Nice English, Matt. But either way, Ciaryu right behind Jason and should be able to take that position away from him down towards turn 1.
Well, let's find out. DRS activated now. Wing open, picking up the slipstream as well. Pretty long run. He's a couple car lengths back. He's 1 car length back. He's getting closer. The top speed on that Ferrari is just absolutely insane. But with those soft compound tires and the freshness that he's experiencing with those tires as well, he is easily able to outbrake the Ferrari into turn number 1. And Jason 97 F1, I mean, I would assume at this point he's certainly going to be going to the end of the race. And even if he does lose the position to Martin behind, he's still going to hold on to that 4th place position. So, and there's a 3-second time penalty for RS Falcon for cutting turn number 1. So that is unfortunate for him. So now not only does he need to overtake Stu, he needs to build a 3-second gap to Stu.
Depending on what Stu has, of course. We've seen quite a few times that there's been penalties for quite a few drivers. And with Monaco coming up, that's going to be an interesting one. But we're still focusing on the Spanish Grand Prix. As Jason, is worth pointing out, was qualified in 17th. I've just been told in my ear. I don't know where he is on track at the moment. Where is... Oh, Jason, yeah, he's 4th, isn't he?
Yeah.
What an absolute drive from him. Oh, that definitely kind of maybe be my driver of the day. I'm not sure. I'm still very impressed with Cupid and how he came back. But gosh, Stu, very much nearly taken out. Stu there, Jason. Sorry, Jason. Justin very much enjoyed that.
I did
that move with the little bit of squealing. But Falcon in 10th place now. And there's a replay. This is the gymkhanering. I mean, if there's ever a way to come into the pits, that's how you want to do it. That's the fans are going to absolutely love that. Yeah,
bonus championship points, I say. We should award him. I mean, really. That
most glamorous pit entrance.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible. Yeah, he could be at the AOR Awards ceremony for our most exciting pit lane entrance. So, yeah, lap 31 now. Less than 3 laps remaining. The Flying Cupid, the Flying Fin, holding on. I mean, Cupid does fly. Let's be honest.
Wait, hold on. I'm just sorry, Justin. It said that he was 4 seconds behind.
It did.
Oh no. Yeah. So that's coming down.
It is. I mean, there's only 3 laps left, and they are on the same compound. And there is a pretty healthy gap to Ciaryu. Yeah, you can't even see him on the minimap right now. But, I mean, as you said, Cupid has had an amazing recovery drive. I don't know if he's actually going to take it, but I think he might actually be giving the Flying Fin a little bit of a headache at the end of this race.
Another 3/10 lost in that middle sector, and the Flying Fin, with one mistake, Cupid could be all over the back of him. And I think that's what the Williams driver is thinking right now, is just keep it consistent, and we'll win this race. But at the moment, Cupid is absolutely flying. Very impressed with his driving at the moment. And the Flying Fin has enough fuel to push on the straights with the rich fuel mix. His tyres, look at that, his front left and his rear left getting towards 60% tyre wear now. So maybe that'll be the difference in terms of why there's a difference in pace. Stu gets a penalty for 3 seconds. And, well, there's
which is good for Falcon ahead, though. Because he had the penalty too.
Yes, so Stu gets that penalty, and that evens out the fight between Falcon and Stu there, as Cupid now 2.8 behind Flying Finn. He is absolutely flying as we come onto the last lap, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think, as Ciario cannot catch Cupid either.
No.
And, well, I mean, very, very interesting to see the pace of Cupid come back after some very disappointing results, getting involved in collisions and being involved with some sort of a... Well, I think there was a bit of complaining from some drivers with some of his moves, but this has been a really good race from Cupid, it has to be said, and the Flying Finn will definitely be looking in his mirrors towards the end of this race in the last few corners, but I think, Justin, he's going to be coming home safe and dry.
Yep. I think this might be enough to move him into 4th in the championship. Cupid currently 7th with 24 points, tied with AOR Reversal at the moment. But of course, this second place finish is going to get him 18 points, which is going to put him up to 42, which is 13 more than Limitless, I would like to point out, but still 10 less than Martin, and I believe Martin is still going to score a few points here as we go on board with the man himself, the winner of the Spanish Grand Prix, unless his car absolutely blows up through the final corner. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be another win for the Flying Finn.
Round in the final corner, the Flying Finn once again takes another victory in this AOR League. He is an unstoppable force at the moment as Cupid celebrates second place. A great recovery drive. What could have happened had he not had that impact with Martin? I think he would have won the race. Well, potentially. Depends how quickly he would have got past Flying Finn. Obviously, catching a car and then overtaking is something completely different. But here's Franglish coming around the final corner as well. He's going to finish in 7th place. Alonso in 6th ahead of him. And, well, is that not the most exciting race in terms of battling for the lead?
Possibly the weirdest.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's been a few glitches. There's Snowyy deciding to go on his little adventure. There was definitely some memorable moments for the Spanish Grand Prix.
Holy cow. Did you see the front left on Reversal? 93% warm.
Oh my God. How has he not got a puncture from that? That is very fortunate indeed. Oh, Franglish. Very nearly ruining his car on the last lap. I bet he will have to change his overalls at the end of the race, Justin.
Yeah, that was quite a way to round things out. So yeah, it is the Flying Finn who ends up winning by 2.6 seconds ahead of Ciario, so extending his lead. The Flying Finn averaging over 20 points per race after 5 races so far this season. Jason97 F1 holds on to that 4th place finish. Fantastic result from him from, it was 17th on the grid. Then Alonso, Franglish, Andre BCF, 1997, TRL Martin, Falcon, and Reversal rounding out the top 10. I know Reversal had some incidents early on in the race, and Martin did end up dropping all the way back. Let's see, so he would have been minus 22. So yeah, he would have been in 5th position, ends up in 8th with that 20-second time penalty. So yeah, very unfortunate for him as a result of that incident. CRL Hamilton finishes in 12th, and Ycoms, CRL Rosberg, Burnout F1, DNF. Yeah, long list of DNFs. I think this might be the most DNFs we've had this season. I don't know if we can get confirmation of that quickly enough, but I mean, yeah, only 13 drivers finishing and only 12 on the lead lap.
Yeah, and I think we may well get a few more DNFs next time out, because we've got the Monaco Grand Prix coming up for round 6. But I thought it was quite interesting, actually, as we look at the Drivers' Championship, that the top 3 all had different strategies. So I think it was the Flying Finn went for soft, medium,
yes.
Then you had Cupid on the soft, hard, medium, and then you had Ciario that went soft, hard, soft. So a very interesting bit of sort of, well, the strategy element is definitely something to watch in F1 2016. It's great to watch from our point of view and for the audience as well. But the Drivers' Championship, as you can see, the Flying Finn extends his lead out in front to more than a race win now, ahead of Ciario, with TRL Martin in 3rd. Yeah, as you say, Cupid gets promoted all the way to 4th and is 13 points ahead of 5th. Limitless obviously not scoring with that disconnection. Jason up to 6th. Learbot drops to 7th. It's very close between 5th and 9th. 4 points separating those. But there is a bit of daylight happening at the top of the table, and there is the second half with, unfortunately, SB Snowyy. You don't get any points for having a look and finding a part of the track that no one's ever seen before. So unfortunately he did not score, and neither has Rosberg, Hamilton or Burnout in this league so far. The Constructors' Championship, well, the Flying Finn is flying that Williams flag with 112 points, and well, Flying Finn has 102 of those. So his teammate really needs to maybe buck his ideas up if Williams do want to win this championship. But at the moment, Flying Finn is doing everything that he needs to do, with the only changes being Red Bull being promoted to 5th place, Sauber and Haas and Toro Rosso all being relegated a position, with Cupid's very good result of 2nd place. StreeZ, obviously that unfortunate incident with CRL Rosberg, otherwise what would have happened with him? He may would have finished on the podium, but Justin, are you looking forward to what we're looking at now, the next race, the Monaco Grand Prix for round 6?
I am very much looking forward to it. It's going to be, I think, a bit hectic. I think it might make our jobs a little bit difficult, trying to keep up with everything that's going on. It's a lot of laps, obviously, and very difficult to overtake, but I'm excited for it. You know, it's unique. There's no other circuit like Monaco on the calendar, so yeah, I'm excited. I think all the viewers will be too.
Yeah, it's the strategy element, I think, that's going to be really interesting to watch, because that's the only way they're really going to be able to overtake. Obviously, there's going to be a few dive bombs here and there, I'm hoping, at least for our entertainment. But either way, guys, join us next week for the Monaco Grand Prix for round 6. I hope you've enjoyed the Spanish Grand Prix. I've been Matthew Gallagher, xMattyG. Justin alongside me, thank you very much.
My pleasure, as always.
And we'll see you very soon for a very interesting race around Monaco. Goodbye.